And away from that, with a lot at stake, Israel's parliament has now finally returned from its break to start the summer session. This comes as the ruling government continues to fight for its survival after losing its majority during the session break. The political turmoil, which has been brewing for weeks now, intensified after former whip and Yamina politician Idit Silman defected from her party last month to join the opposition Likud party. This led to the governing coalition of Prime Minister Naftali Bennett losing its majority in the Knesset. The sudden defection ended the coalition government's one-seat majority in the parliament, leaving the Knesset deadlocked with a 60-60 seat parity between the coalition and the opposition. The crisis got further aggravated after Islamist Arab party RAM decided to freeze its membership in the coalition due to the recent flare-ups at the conflict-ridden Al-Aqsa Mosque. Although nothing has been confirmed yet, but if the Arab party pulls out its 4 seats from the coalition, the Bennett-Lapid government will find itself in a clear minority. Meanwhile, in the opposition front, parties are now considering a no-confidence motion against the ruling government. On Sunday, opposition party heads held a meeting at the Likud party's headquarters in Tel Aviv, agreeing to continue to determine and unified fight to topple the government. They are also reportedly weighing whether to bring forward a non-governmental bill to disperse the government on Wednesday. If passed, the preliminary debate, it will then be discussed in future sessions for a final approval. Along with growing political discord, rising violence in Israel has caught the headlines. In the latest, Israeli soldiers have shot dead a Palestinian near West Bank, and another was killed after infiltrating a Jewish settlement on Sunday. A policeman was also stabbed by a Palestinian assailant at Jerusalem's Damascus Gate, after which the perpetrator was shot by the authorities. All these incidents came hours after Israeli forces caught 2 Palestinians who were suspected of sneaking into Israel and killing 3 people in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish town of Elad last week. And for more information on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen is joining us live from Elad. Jody Cohen, good to see you. What should we expect now after Parliament returned, and what impact will the difference between the ruling party and the opposition have in the politics of Israel in the near future?
Hi, Eric. Well, yes, as you said, Israel's parliament, the Knesset, is reopening today after recess, and it's deadlocked between 60 seats for the government and 60 seats for the opposition following the defection of MK Idit Silman. Now, WION had an exclusive interview a few days ago with Jeremy Sultan, who's a key advisor to the Prime Minister, and he said that he was confident that the coalition government will be able to push through. They're going to focus on non-controversial legislation going forward, but it is clear that nobody will be able to miss a vote, certainly over the next few weeks. Now, on Sunday night, the Likud party came together and they reaffirmed their unity in aiming to topple this government. They are on Monday proposing a no-confidence vote, which is largely symbolic. It's not expected to pass. But on Wednesday, they're considering a private members' bill, which will need 61 votes to pass, but not just in one vote. That will be across 3 readings. So that will be a big ask. They'll have to get somebody to defect. And interestingly, whoever they get to defect will not only mean that that will bring elections, but it will also mean that they'll determine who will be the Prime Minister going forward. So, for example, if the defector comes from the left wing, then Prime Minister Bennett will continue as Prime Minister and vice versa. So the focus will really be on the Islamist Arab party RAM. They suspended themselves over the violence in Jerusalem and they remain divided. Their leader, Mansour Abbas, really is reportedly wanting to stay in the coalition government. But some members of his party are reportedly concerned about their political future and want to leave. Now, Abbas has said that it will depend on what deal can be arranged between Israel and Jordan over the Temple Mount Al-Aqsa compound to determine whether or not they stay in. Prime Minister Bennett has said that the status quo will remain. Israel has sovereignty over the Temple Mount and works hand in hand with the Waqf, the Jordanian authorities, to manage the site. We know that RAM will be boycotting the no confidence vote on Monday and possibly the vote on Wednesday as well. And it remains to be seen if they will continue and indeed if others will in the coalition government.
Live from Elad, Israel, our correspondent Jody Cohen. Thank you very much for that. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.